The INFJ personality type requires specific needs to be met in regards to their workplace environment and their fellow coworkers in order to properly excel. And, like most aspects of life, they can be quite critical of the circumstances and people that don't quite cut it when it comes to their workplace. So, what are some of the things that INFJs can't stand when it comes to their fellow work colleagues? Welcome, or welcome back, psychos! Before we get into it, we'd love it if you liked and subscribed to our channel, as well as to click the post notification bell so you never miss a video. Alright, let's get right into the video, starting with number 1, relying on the INFJ to pick up slack. First and foremost, when INFJs are expected to work as a part of a team, there's no doubt that they give their all. With their highly motivated and seemingly people-pleasing ways, it's not uncommon for the INFJ to become the boss's favorite in terms of giving their all, with little recognition expected in return. Yet, sometimes it's this motivated capability and determination that digs them a hole of others relying on them to take on the things they fall short on. In fact, according to 16personalities.com, it's this advocating type's determination to be helpful that can cause them to be seriously taken advantage of in the workplace. And with that being said, it's not uncommon for the INFJ to find themselves picking up the slack of their less dedicated colleagues at the expense of their own energy and well-being. Whether it's from higher positions realizing their capabilities or their fellow coworkers seeing that they can take the easy way out, it seems that the INFJ's admirable work ethic is what causes this unfair disadvantage. Number 2. Diddle-daddling. Speaking of less dedicated coworkers, when INFJs are pulled out from their nests of comfort, it better be for a good reason. And for some INFJs, earning money is in fact just important enough. With that being said, when they're at their place of work, they're there to put in the hours. They don't just show up for the sake of taking up space, to socialize, or to diddle-daddle, and they can't stand that mentality in their coworkers. While they may look down upon their fellow colleagues who are less than determined to actually do the work they showed up for, there's nothing worse than others' attempts at pulling the INFJ down with them. This is where their discontent comes into play. For the INFJ, there's nothing more mind-numbing than twiddling their fingers when they know there's work expected of them, especially if they could be at home in their much-preferred solitude. Which brings us to our next point, number 3. Lateness and lack of respect for other people's time. Similar to disregarding the fact that there's work to be done, the INFJ can't stand when a fellow colleague creates a reputation for themselves for their tardy behavior. With organization and understanding the importance of other people's positions as the foreground of their work ethic, this personality type can't fathom thinking their time is more important than that of other people's. Sure, life gets the best of us sometimes, and they'd be first to give second, thirds, and fourth chances before making a solid judgment. However, once this lack of punctuality becomes a part of someone's character, the INFJ can't help but to think a little less of their overall work ethic. And in their eyes, it's no different if it's the boss, the CEO, or simply a volunteer who doesn't respect others' time. Number 4. Unnecessary gossip. Sure, we're all guilty of it to some extent. In fact, being an innate INFJ tendency to remain curious and concerned about other people's lives, sometimes certain forms of gossip can actually allow for a better understanding of one's character. However, when it comes to talking about other people with ill intent with the hopes of short-lived entertainment, you can count the INFJ out. When the water cooler conversations turn into negative gossip-based banter, INFJs can usually point out who the hosts of the workplace gossip are. And these are the people that they just can't jive with, no matter how hard they try. By using the tactic of taking the heat off of themselves or even boasting themselves in the process, INFJs can see right through the insecurities of gossiping colleagues. Plus, they know that if they're the audience to someone's gossip, then they're almost guaranteed to be the topic of conversation when they're not around. Number 5. Conversation controllers. On the topic of negativity-based conversations, there's nothing worse for an INFJ than being around a coworker who can't help but to dominate every conversation. Usually matched with more of an extroverted nature, coworkers who can't help but to poke their heads into private conversations, continuously interrupt, or take control of group meetings can really get on the INFJ's nerves. With the experience of taking the back seat of a group conversation, whether they like it or not, INFJs know what it's like to be unheard, especially for their fellow introverted colleagues who they know are filled with incredible ideas and opinions, yet aren't given the chance to express them. Conversation hogs have a way of making them feel rather irrelevant. Whether it's due to a lack of awareness or inflated know-it-all ego of the controller of conversations, the INFJ's morals of inclusivity and humility causes them to think less of any individual who feels convinced of having all the answers, especially if they're noticeably closed off to alternative opinions. Number 6. Being everyone's confidant. Known as the counselor type, it's in the INFJ's very nature to draw people in and provide that safety net for others to share their deepest difficulties. In fact, many people with this personality type will claim that even random strangers on the street will share their life stories without even taking a second to question why they feel compelled to do so. With an empathetic aura that can be felt in their presence, it's no different when it comes to the workplace. And while most INFJs would say that their innate curiosity makes this trait rather fulfilling, there's certainly a time, place, and genre of personal details that can make these traits seem like either a blessing or a curse. It's fair to say that the workplace can be a hit or miss. The last thing any INFJ wants on top of their work responsibilities is to be distracted by their extroverted feeling function. Considering it can be seriously consuming at times when the INFJ knows that they're the main go-to counselor of their workplace, it can make showing up seem seriously daunting. Which leads us to number 7. Persistent negative energy. Considering the overwhelming dominance of their secondary cognitive function, extroverted feeling, that gives them the ability to truly step into other people's shoes. Yet, not only does it allow them the accurate empathy and understanding towards the people around them, it also causes them to take on the energies of others. That includes both positive and negative. So, in regards to the workplace dynamic, there's truly nothing worse for the INFJ than to know they're showing up to a rather negative-leaning environment. If it's the work itself, INFJs won't question finding a job elsewhere. Yet, if the INFJ enjoys what they do, and it's the negative mindsets and conversations of their fellow colleagues that are taxing their extroverted feeling energy, it can become a serious personal battle. Whether it's the constant complainer, notable tension between coworkers, or a boss who never thinks anything is good enough, INFJs feel this negativity to their very core, eventually draining them of all motivation. And lastly, number 8. Self-boasters and attention-seeking. Mutual respect and workers' equality in the workplace are two things the INFJ can never happily work without. Especially when it comes to a team setting, there's no environment more fulfilling than one where everyone works in unison with unapologetic encouragement and praise. And so, when there's a member of the group who can't help but to think of themselves as smarter, more important, or more powerful than the other members of the group, in the eyes of an INFJ, they stick out like a sore thumb. We covered conversation hoggers, but attention-seeking and self-centeredness comes with a different level of egotism that's much more difficult to look past. Not only are INFJs reluctant to receive praise themselves, but they almost always find ways to include how their fellow colleagues contributed to their success. So, when a coworker expects praise to the point of forcing it out of their team members while providing no equal acknowledgement in return, you can't guarantee the INFJ despises the egoistic energy they bring to the table. Well, psychos, that's it for today. So, what would you say is your biggest challenge when it comes to work colleagues as an INFJ? Let us know in the comments below. Also, make sure to leave us a like, share with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel so that you never miss a video.